Hi guys, I'm Macaulay Babajide Milton, and I'm here to share my story. Okay, so it all happened in 2012 after I completed my NYSC. That's my service to my country, Nigeria. I was retained by my university where I had my undergrad. I studied biology, so I was retained by the Department of Biology, and I took the job. I went back there as a graduate assistant. I was there for about 6 to 8 months before I finally got the Commonwealth Scholarship to study Sustainable Environmental Management at the University of Greenwich in London. After I completed that in 2013 with a distinction, I then returned to FUTA. I was promoted to an assistant lecturer, where I was for like 2 years before I got another scholarship, the Commonwealth Scholarship again. And that's for my PhD, which I then had at the University of Manchester. I specialize in environmental geochemistry and geomicrobiology. I recently completed that, and now I'm back to FUTA, to resume and give back. But because of the stress and everything, for now, I just want to take a rest, take a break before I think about postdoc or an MBA or something else. So yeah, that's the story. But apart from academics, teaching, and research, I also run a small company which I started in 2018. It's called Illumania. And so Illumania was started to help students, graduates, business professionals with academic, educational, and environmental support. For example, we render services like CV restructuring, dissertation writing, supervision, personal statement review, scholarship application guidance, career counseling, business and research proposal writing, data analysis, EIA, host of services that we run. And I'm privileged and proud to be the CEO of this company, very small company. It's a consultancy firm and it's online. And in 2018, we started it in January. And in 2018, we recorded 12 scholars through our firm. 2017, we recorded 12. That was prior to me really kicking it off as a company on its own. Then by 2018, when it became a company, we recorded 23 scholars. And then this year, we're already on 18 and counting. So I'm happy, I'm glad that I'm contributing to humanity, to science as well. Okay, so the question says that how can I study abroad for free? Well, obviously that's a scholarship. You're talking about a scholarship. So what do you need to do to get a scholarship? I would say, because all the questions I need to answer that will link up to the scholarship questions, but at this point, let me just say, to get a scholarship, at least you need 4 items, and I'll mention them now, or documents. The first one is your original bachelor's certificate. Now, if you have a statement of result, I'm sorry, many foreign schools will not take that from you. They don't understand how we run things in Nigeria because it's even wrong. Most schools in Nigeria, it's terrible. How can you graduate and not have your original certificate for 4 years? I'm just glad that the university where I graduated from, FUTA, I can proudly tell you that you get your certificate the same year you graduate from that school. So in my own case, I finished in 2010. I got my certificate November 2010. So I wish other schools in Nigeria would do the same. I just wish. I don't know. But many schools abroad will not take your statement of results from you. They expect you to already have your certificate with you. So that's number one. Number two, you need your official transcript. Now, there's nothing you can do without a transcript. So you need to get it out. And it has to be an official copy. That's a copy that doesn't have the watermark that says not to be used for official purposes, or sometimes they put student copy only. once they put all of that as a watermark, they've destroyed it. So, but if it's got nothing, then that's a fantastic transcript that can be used. Then number 3 is your international passport. It's just like the international passport is so important that you can't fly without it. In fact, in many occasions, you can't complete an online application form to a university, their postgraduate online form. You can't complete it without filling the passport number. It starts with an alphabet followed by about 6 numbers. I think. So that number, you can't complete your admission form without having it. So your international passport is just like the tires to your car. Your car is going nowhere without them. So you're not going anywhere without them. It's probably the first thing that you should get. Number 4, and I think it costs about 30k or so right now. Number 4 is English. You have to show proof of English proficiency. Now this changes depending on what part of the world you're applying to. Now, if you're applying to the UK, for example, many schools in the UK would accept WAEC from you, not NECO, WAEC, because WAEC is a regional exam. It's West Africa, so it's recognized worldwide. They will take WAEC as long as you have a grade of not less than C6. They will take it from you. Original certificate, please. You have to have your original certificate with you. But some other parts of the world, like other EU countries, aside the UK, like countries like Austria and the likes, might not bother you with WAEC. They'll just tell you to get a document to prove that you've studied in English, like you had your degrees in English, and that's it. So you just go to your school and you apply for proof of English language proficiency, and then in the letter your school would write that yes, you were taught in English, and that's all right. So for the third question here, it says that what was the strategy I applied? The second question, what was the strategy I applied before I got my scholarships? Well, I would just say 3 strategies here. Number 1, early preparation. Early preparation is number 1 for me. So when is the best time? I would say apply during your service year. That's the best time, because a scholarship is always a year long. The processing is a year long. So if it's a year long, that implies that if you apply during your service year, the beginning of your service year, by the time the results will be out and you're about to fly out of the country, you'll be probably at the tail end of it, and nothing's going to stop you at that point. Some people apply during their final year. Please don't well, it's a personal decision, but if you ask me, I would say you serve first before you go. Some would say, no, let me go do it, then I'll come back and serve. Most times it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Yeah, because the levels go down change. By the time you're back, the levels go down change. Trust me. Wearing the khaki, my brother, the thing go to door you. So you won't even want to do it again. And you will think, who cares? I beg. But 20 years from now, that's when you then discover that an opportunity to do something would occur, and then what will be standing before you, and that wonderful opportunity will be your NYSC certificate. Please, that will then tempt you to go and forge one. I don't want to mention names, but we've seen cases of people who forged their certificates, and it was so embarrassing. You don't want to. So do it during your service year. Why are you in a hurry? Just calm down. Your destiny will not run away and leave you. Calm down. You will achieve it. Don't worry. You will get there. You will be it. So calm down. That's number 1. Prepare early. So start off early. To prepare early, that means that you need to get all the documents I mentioned earlier on time. Get everything and be prepared. Number 2 is target the right scholarships. Now, I told you earlier, scholarships are applicant specific. So target the right scholarship for you. Let me just give 2 examples. Now, if you know that you have a very high CGPA, like 4.1 above, very high, then scholarships like Commonwealth, MasterCard, they're fantastic for you. Yeah, because that's what they're after. That's what they're really after. Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, that's what they're really after. Like the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship that I won for my MSc, 90% of us are usually first class graduates. That's a fact. You can confirm. So that tells you something, you know. Okay, and so for the other example I want to make is the Chevening. Now, for Chevening scholarship, your CGPA does not matter. What matters for Chevening is your leadership and community development experience. So NGOs you've worked for, NGOs you have established, how you've impacted your community, and with demonstrable evidences. You can't just be blabbing on the sheet of paper. With demonstrable evidences, they have to be powerful. It's not you being a class rep, please. That's not it. This is deep. This is community development, impact. Now, if you have all of that and you have at least 3.5 on a 5-point scale CGPA, they'll take you. You are the kind of candidate they want. So for Chevening, that's what it is. It's about impact. For Commonwealth, it's about academic excellence. So you need to know the kind of scholarship you're applying for. You need to understand what they're looking for, who they're looking for, and if your qualifications actually meet that. Because if your qualifications do not meet the basic requirements they have or they've stated, then you'll be applying and you won't win, and you will think something is. So for the third point for that question is that you should get a mentor. Now, even if you have a first class, even if you have leadership and community development experience, rock solid one, you can still mess up your application form. Yes, you can still fill it wrongly, choose the wrong approach to answering the questions, because those questions are always very they are not straightforward. It requires you to think. They are very technical. They are technical questions. So if you're not careful, you'd take the wrong approach, express yourself in the wrong way, even though you have what it takes to win, and they read up your application and not feel it, because they need to feel you in your application, and you need to go straight to the point. Don't beat around the bush. So you might need a mentor, and that's where Illumina comes in. My company, that's what we do. We help you review your form and tell you this is wrong, no, this is right, why not change this, why not adjust this, why not add this, why not express this better, and then that would increase your chances of winning. And people have been winning, through our company. So get yourself a mentor so that you don't waste time. Like in my own case, I applied to 25 universities for my MSc and I lost 23, but I won the last 2. Why did I lose so many even though I had the first class? That's because I was using the wrong approach. Let me just give you one example of a wrong approach. When you write your application form and you're telling them about how bad things are in Nigeria, there are no equipment, the course you want to study, they can't do it here in Nigeria. You begin to blast your lecturers, you blast the quality of education, you blast everything. Then you then say, so with these few points of mine, that's why I want to come abroad to do my postgraduate studies. It's not going to hold water. It's not going to move them. It's not going to touch anyone. They're not after the complaint. Don't complain. Stop complaining. And an average Nigerian loves to complain. Sometimes it aches me to my bone marrows, but let's leave that alone. Now, so it's not about complaining. This is about you just telling them what you possess that the other applicant somewhere else do not have or doesn't have, that makes you a better applicant to be selected. So Be boastful to some extent. Talk about your strengths. Talk about things you've done, your prior research experience, the community development projects you've led. This is when to talk about stuffs you've done and say it boldly, and that is what will catch their attention. So that's how to go about it. Get a mentor. A mentor will put you right. That's for a fact. So don't think you can do everything on your own, except you're absolutely sure you know what to do. But if you want to be double sure, there is no harm in getting a mentor, so that you don't go on losing over 20 scholarships like I did. Learn from my experience, don't learn from yours. So the Commonwealth page will tell you 2-1, you can apply. Yeah, but then if you have a 3.5 and you apply for the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, there is 90% probability that you will not be selected. But then 2-1 was written on the website. So these are hidden information that someone experienced will know, but you, by just browsing through the web page, might not know this fact. Because the Commonwealth Shared, they are so they favor, let me put it that way, they favor those with very high CGPAs, like a high 2-1, like from 4 point something and above. Yeah. So, and then, they love the first classes. Yeah, all the people with first class. Yeah. So that's the thing with Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. But Shevden isn't like that. So you need to apply for the appropriate scholarship and then fill your form correctly. So to avoid all, I said something about the approach in filling the form. Don't cast down your school or say something nasty or bad about your course or your lecturers in order to maybe appeal to pity. Don't do that. It's not going to work. So the right approach, a mentor will help you out to review and say, no, don't state it this way. State it in a better way. Put it this way. Why not talk about this? Why not start with this paragraph first before you go to this? So the challenge I had was not having a mentor, and I suffered a lot. But now I've made myself one, and then I can help you out, and that's how Illumina came to the picture, and that's one of the reasons why Illumina was created, to help out with these kind of things. So if you need help, come to us, Illumina, and we'll help you out. We'll help you review your documents to top standard, quality standard, scholarship worthy standard, trust me. Alright, so the next question says, what countries can I recommend for you to study abroad? Well, there are loads of countries around the world. There are scholarships almost everywhere. It depends on how serious you are at searching. Because most people have phones that can browse and everything, but they always be on Instagram, Twitter, doing all kinds of stuff. But will never go on Google. And Google is your best friend. Just search Google and you find everything you need. But then most people don't. They burn their data doing other stuff that won't really add much to their life. They just have fun, that's all. But you can use the same data you've got to better your life by getting information. But what people do that I really hate is that they prefer to go to someone who has one, and then they want the person to tell you everything, when you can easily just get a link and then go read up on your own and know what to do. So if you are that intellectually lazy, you won't complete a master's or PhD, trust me. Anyway, I don't intend to blast you guys, but it's the truth. Anyway, so countries, UK. In UK, you've got Commonwealth Scholarship. There are loads of them. There is Shared Scholarship. There's MSc Scholarship. There's PhD Scholarship. There's the Queen's Commonwealth Scholarship. We also have Shevden in UK. Then you've got Europe. You've got in Europe, you've got Erasmus Mundus. Okay, so the other country is Japan. So Japan is a country that you can also go to do your postgraduate studies. Many schools in Japan will teach you in English, that's the truth. Although your commune around the country, within the country, will be in Japanese. I think you need to learn, just as it is with China, you need to use 6 months or so to learn the native language first before you commence with your studies. The scholarship in Japan is called MEXT Scholarship, MEXT, MEXT. In Hong Kong, there's a Hong Kong Masters and PhD Fellowship. That Hong Kong was taken over by Britain, so they speak in English there, so that's fine. It's a good place to be, even though they're part of China, but they speak in English. So that's a place that you can also go to. There's Germany. In Germany, that's the case. It's a similar case like China and Japan, where you use the first 6 months or so to learn the German language. It's called DAAD, D-A-A-D, DAAD Scholarship. Then Australia is another. There are scholarships in Australia. Most of the time, they are institution-based scholarships. There's also the Australian government scholarship. So all of these, they're on Google. You can search them on Google and read up more. And then Africa. I don't know why people don't like talking about it, but there are scholarships in Africa. There are good schools in Africa. There are schools in South Africa that are so good. And their ranking in the world is very good. So there's this scholarship called PAU, that's the Pan-African University Scholarship, and that's a very good one. They pay you in dollars, so it's fantastic. I think the universities that are part of it, UI in Nigeria, there's a school in Kenya, I think there's a school in Botswana, there's a school in Ghana, then one in South Africa, or two in South Africa. So you can try that as well. So there are opportunities around the world. You just have to search, that's all. So lastly, I would like to say thank you to Tell My Story TV and the management, the coordinator, the team involved. I would like to say thank you for bringing me on this show, giving me the platform to tell my story and to also share recommendations, my views about scholarships, and to also mention about my company, Illumania. Illumania is a consulting platform, online consulting platform, where we help students, graduates, and business professionals. I've mentioned this already at the beginning of the video, all the 9 services we render. So if you want us to help you with your scholarship review, dissertation review, and the likes, we don't write for you. We only review your drafts, and we do it thoroughly. Just reach out to us. It's www.illumania.org. Thank you so much for having me. God bless you. Thank you.